been built just at the entrance to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca by a famed artist in the region. If you've come to this part of the country before in Northern California, you drive in from, say, Salinas, you go through some of the farmland, you'll see these magnificent pieces of art displayed representing the different folks that work in the area, some of the farmers, and their spectacular paintings, and they've done one of those for Wayne at the entrance to the racetrack. Let's go now to Justin Bell.
You want to know what the look like, and I don't mean Bob Varsh's underwear. It's here. Look at these cars. 935s. Gunnar Jeanette, one of the top young IMSA drivers. Gunnar, you're running out there single turbo, having to hustle behind Cooper in that twin turbo.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I love coming and doing the historic races. Huge thanks to WeatherTech for bringing these awesome cars out. And I love being able to race against my teammate in cars like these and in front of all the people here at Mazda Raceway.
You can see it's so cool. I said it earlier. Pro drivers in cars that require pro drivers. And these two are teammates in the IMSA series. It's going to be a great race, Ralph.
Oh, yeah. This is one we've had circled out of all the groups for sure. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. There are some very talented race car drivers in this group, and there's some really cool cars.
I just want to say this. Stay out of my underwear drawer, Justin.
I wasn't getting anywhere near that.
48 cars registered. Just look at the styling cues up and down the pit lane there.
That number 18 right there, that blue Porsche 935, is going to be driven by Zach Brown. Of course, the man who heads up the McLaren Racing organization these days.
It's an historic car, championship-winning car in the IMSA ranks in the earlier iteration of IMSA. JLP Racing, as in John Paul, father and son, and John Paul Jr. Championship-winning racing driver, immensely talented, going through some health difficulties right now. If you're looking in, John, your fans are thinking of you.
Absolutely. It's known as one of the most, if not the most successful Porsche 935s. It won at Daytona in 24 hours, won Sebring the same year back in 1982. Bob, I had a poster of that BMW right there. The BMW, the Coors-backed car.
Ransom Webster's number 42 with the pink accents. Porsche 935. Le Mans winner.
That's Bruce Canepa's 935 right there, number 12. There's the famed Whittington Brothers 935, the Luigi BMW right there. Well, some great stories about that car we'll talk about.
2A, the BMW M1.
Donahue and Fulmer in that Sunoco Porsche. Incredible. And that's Paul Newman's Hawaiian Tropic 935.
That's right. With Rolf Stommelin and Dick Barber. Went to Le Mans.
And Bob, look at the Z cars. This is a great part of this category. The Z car popularity on the rise once again, and we've got some full-bodied racing machinery here. The Altic Lansing 914-6. Remember that car from the IMSA GTU years?
Just a spectacular lineup of machinery.
There was a spectacular poster that went along with that Altic Lansing 914-6, you might remember as well, and a lot of us had that poster on the wall too.
GTU, you see a U on the side of some of the cars. That was IMSA lingo for GT under 2.5 liters, as I recall. There's also a GTO class in big bore cars, and then the mighty prototypes. Great times. Look at the size of that field just filling the pit lane.
Ken Cavelli is our cameraman down there on the grid, and that was a great, as we call it in the business, if you will, a grid walk. And boy, that was a lot of fun. Thanks, Ken. Good job, buddy. He's giving us that shot too as they all drive away.
And onto the track they go. Gunnar Jeanette talk about how I love to come here and race against my teammate. His teammate is a young man named Cooper McNeil, Hinsdale, Illinois. In familiar to IMSA WeatherTech fans. His father, David McNeil, owns the WeatherTech company. Made in America accessories for cars and trucks of all sorts. Family devoted to motorsports. Here's a look at the field. Familiar surnames there.
The Arciero's back out here. Bruce Canepa going to be running in this one. There's Gunner. John Morton driving the number 40.
Ludwig Willich, 75 BMW, high executive with BMW North America. Regular supporters of vintage racing here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
Well, they had a big year here last year, didn't they?
Oh boy.
The 100th anniversary.
Yeah.
That was spectacular.
Cars. Yep.
There is a wild rumor that we might know who next year's featured mark is going to be by the end of the weekend. But Jill Campbell is anxiously trying to get pen to paper so that she can make the announcement. We'll see. Keep your fingers crossed. Be great to announce it on the air.
Just think of all the logistical effort that goes into an event like this. Finding all these cars, making sure that the cars you want apply to come race. And on the other side of the coin, owning a car like that and hoping to have it ready to race when the time comes for the Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion every year. Getting all the cars here, getting everybody into the area, one of the most popular tourist destinations on the California coast. It takes a lot. And this is the result. It's fabulous cars on track for us all to enjoy.
Yeah, and hang with us a little bit on the starting grids and stuff, because it's ever evolving. There's a lot of people showing up, a lot of information out there, and we're doing our best to get all the right information to tell you who's driving what and what the machinery is. But we'll do our best over the course of the weekend to give you the most up-to-date that we can. I know the grid sheet that I hung around till 7 o'clock at night last night to get for you and I today, Bob, was evolving as they were working on it, as they were trying to print it off. So,
yep, that's not unusual at all at these things. But that's okay, as long as the car gets out there.
That's right. The cars are truly the stars here this weekend, so we'll do our best to give you the right information about them and have a lot of fun watching and listening to these incredible machines once again. Well, this is arguably one of the biggest fields of the weekend, and you can see it is a stacked field of really cool machinery. So let's throw the green flag, turn up the volume, and listen to this group. McNeil, the Interscope Racing Porsche 935 out front and leading.
Interscope Racing car driven by Danny Ungaius, the Flying Hawaiian.
A couple of Monzas battling there, including that number 20. Ken Epsman owns that deck in Monza from Santa Clara, California. Car modified for Chris Cord back in the day.
For McNeil going up the hill.
Such a great looking car, isn't it?
He's a student at University of Colorado at Boulder. Might be a rising senior this year. Have to check with Cooper. Trying to maintain his studies and a fairly hectic racing schedule, including the WeatherTech Series, sponsored by his dad's company. Races Ferrari Challenge from time to time, and of course, this great collection of vintage race cars owned by the family. The more conservative profiles of the Porsche 935. They got pretty crazy with the fender flares and the whale tails and the aerodynamic aids.
You can see the different iterations of the Porsche 911 as it's worked its way through the the era here. The Monza now moving into second place. A pretty good battle for second, and it might become a battle for the lead here. Whoa, one of the beamers off.
R31 has gone off. That's Dean DeSantis and his 73 BMW CSL out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. One of 33 states and 14 countries that have sent cars to this weekend's event. How's that for a livery?
Yeah, that's that Calder Art Car paint scheme. Oh, look, let's see.
Down in turn 10, got it swapped ends on him. No harm, no foul, I'd say. Nothing but a little lost track position.
Look at that field of cars, including the BMW M1. There's another 914.
Old Alpha behind.
Another BMW.
Those unmistakable colors of the BMW factory squads. Plunging downhill through Rainy Curve.
Watching number 58 there. That's John Norman in his Alfa Romeo GTV 1971. And the IMSA GTU series, of course, competed in SCCA Nationals as well. Same era.
One on the move.
Brake three and ready. Tight pack racing here. That's Henry Schmidt in that BMW M1, one of the Pro Car machines. They had that whole BMW Pro Car Championship, you might remember Bob. They brought in a lot of the top Formula One drivers of the era.
Yep. One of the early one-make racing series, providing a little entertainment with top-of-the-line international drivers. It's been tried by several different marques over the years. Nothing but blue California sky till you get over that rise and find yourself here. Turning down the corkscrew.
From the top of the corkscrew, if you look back to the west, you can actually see all the way over to Monterey Bay.
About 130 feet, as I recall, of elevation change here in the track from the high point on top of the corkscrew to the low point, which was right there at turn 10.
That black Porsche running right behind the BMW. Oh boy, that's tight through there.
Boys. Mirror on the wall.
There's our race leaders. And a good battle up here, too. It really hasn't gone away. But Bruce Canepa looks like he's entered the fray. It's still a 935 right there.
Traffic to deal with.
Yep. Then the Monza, and then Canepa and his Porsche right behind it, number 12.
Keel Hogan's wildly modified Decon Monza from 1976. A regular in the IMSA series in 76 and 77. Raced here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, of course.
First that fight for second. Canepa really hunting all around the backside of that Monza. He got that car brand new. He's an original one owner on that Porsche. Not many one-owner 935s left in the world these days. 1979 car. In fact, there's only 13 customer 935s built in 1979.
Monza, maintained for many years by Huffaker Engineering, the legendary performance shops and race car preparation businesses out here on the West Coast.
Yeah, they were north of here, up at what then was known as Sears Point. That was their main center. Boy, those guys churned out a lot of great racing machinery. This was the last Works 935 built by the factory, too. The car that Canepa is running, our third place machine, the all-white one. Right there.
And Bruce has quite a collection of his shops.
Yeah, right up the road here in Scotts Valley, just north of Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. Many of the cars that you'll see racing here over the next 2 days have been restored over there. We'll try to point out a few if we can. It's one of the top race car restoration shops in the world.
Yeah, he made his name really creating race car transporter, big trailers
sure did.
to haul race cars around. That got into the vintage car business, restoring cars, prepping them.
An accomplished wheelman on his own, too. Had a great racing career all to himself as a sports car racer throughout the years before he got into that business. A little bodywork hanging up there.
Need a little preparation.
That's Jonathan Ornstein, a 79 Datsun 280ZX. Former GT2 SCCA National Championship winning car. The bodywork just hanging off there.
Got into the right, somebody with the right front. It may have just come detached there at the bottom. Yeah, you see it flapping. It's still
could be.
Doesn't seem to be slowing him down much. It's car 31 that we saw perpendicular to the direction of travel earlier. Dean DeSantis' BMW CSL.
Yeah, he's trying to catch Bill Ockerland there in another one of those 1976 Monzas. Next Jerry Jolly Monza. Car race from 76 to 81.
Those were the weapons to have in the early days of the IMSA Camel GT series. Al Holbert won a championship in a Decon Monza.
Look at that tight three-car battle, and we're sliding the rear now, too. Getting a little late in the stages here.
Leaving rubber everywhere. Gil Hogan. Canepa unable to pounce in that white Porsche third in line. For now, Cooper McNeil holds sway in his 1980 Porsche 935.
Let's take a look at that again. Watch this slide. Puts all the power of that Monza to the ground, or at least tries to. Giving some more black marks on the pavement here. Finally, all the air hitting that big rear wing, and it hooked up for him.
Yeah, he took a lot of curb. That unsettled the car a little bit. Great action, well controlled.
That's the Luigi car. That black BMW right behind the yellow Porsche there. Up, and there goes our 280ZX.
Yellow cars, William Kincaid in his 76 Porsche 934.
There it is, that BMW right there. They found that car. I was talking to the owner of that car, and he said they were pretty sure what it was, but they had to work through 4 different layers pulling paint off before they finally got to the black paint underneath, and they knew they had the right car. That Hans Stuck used to drive that car. There's a very famous poster of that car cresting over the rise at the Nürburgring, where it was leading, and it sat on the pole, was leading, flew over it, completely airborne.
Yep.
Then the car ends up braking. They didn't win the race. The owner of the car has everything he needs. He's got the car, he's got all the history. Hans Stuck even signed the dash. Guess what the one thing is he doesn't have? The poster. He's trying to find the poster.
You trying to hook him up?
If you can find the poster, give him a call. He'd love to have it. Let's go down to Justin.
Well, always a man who racetrack is John Dooner, who's Director of Motorsports for Mazda here in the States. Now, John, a far cry from what we normally do at IMSA, but you bought some beautiful cars for the fans this weekend. And of course, you've been doing a lot of demonstrations with the factory drivers. So a great weekend for Mazda.
It may be a far cry from what we do in IMSA today, Justin, but it's what I grew up with. I know it's what you grew up with, and so many of us, that era in the 70s and 80s and 90s of IMSA was what I would consider the heyday. But I think we're in the process of writing a new chapter in IMSA history. We're so pleased to have a collection that we house at Mazda down in Irvine, and we also integrated a bunch of our customer cars. So for Mazda, it's about giving our customers a chance to compete themselves, and this event is all about that.
Well, thanks, John. He's always... Normally, John has got a very worried look on his face, but today he's incredibly relaxed, Bob.
Yeah, John Doonan has a lot on his plate, managing all the different racing activities for Mazda. And these are exciting times for that team. They've established a new relationship with Yost Racing, many-time overall winners. Whoa, what's happened here?
Somebody dipped a wheel. Oh, looks like the Donahue Fulmer 911 maybe.
Is that a right front problem? I'm not sure. As the race leader gets by. At any rate, Yost Racing has taken over the Mazda prototype program in the IMSA WeatherTech Series. So they expect great things beginning in Daytona come January.
By the way, it's Steve Walker who owns that Luigi BMW we were talking about, the poster car. That's who you want to contact if you find him. Here's Canepa. Looks like he's kind of fallen off pace a little bit. They've separated that group a little. Probably going through traffic. That's the thing. I mean, you want to win, but at the same time, you got to be careful. You don't want to tear it up.
No question.
One of the Datsuns off over here to the far right. Checkered flag has fallen.
Bruce Canepa shown as the race leader. Now, how did that happen?
I don't know. And McNeil is shown in third. So, Bruce, we thought he had fallen off the pace. And as we got back, yeah, sure, and there's Hogan right behind him.
Yep.
So it was McNeil that had fallen off the pace. We thought we were seeing the race leader when we got back to him. Actually, he must have made a mistake somewhere.
So McNeil went from first to third.
Yeah.
Canepa from third to first, and Hogan remained in second. Followed home by Ken Epsman and Zach Brown. And Gunnar Jeanette in sixth place. Well, and he's falling down the order right now. So Gunnar Jeanette's car. We heard from him with Justin before the race began. Not sure that Gunnar Jeanette will see the checkered flag.
Well, that one owner 935 is a winner again. Canepa taking the victory here.
What a brute. Look at the rear end of that car.
Just incredible, isn't it? Car was delivered to California prior to the 11th round of the 79 championship over at Sears Point. Qualified 10th and finished 5th on that day, but it's a winner here this afternoon at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. We're going to come right back for more of the Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion after this.